welcome into Rock Painting 101. If you're catching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. If you pop in live while I'm making a quick adjustment, I just feel like you're a little bit off here. There we go, that's a little bit more. So I just like to be able to see if there's questions or comments. Feel free to leave them there. If you're popping in live, feel free to say hello, where you're watching from. So today we're going to do some acrylic fall leaves. So we're going to talk about kind of blending and things like that. I'm going to show you how to break down the shape of this style of leaf, but when it comes to the blending, I'm going to just do this because it's a little bit quicker for like a live tutorial. So put these off to the side so you guys can see them. People popping in have an idea of what we're doing here. The first thing we're going to do is lay out our leaf onto our stone, and to do that I'm actually going to just use my white Posca pen, which now seemingly I have misplaced. Yikes, what did I do with it? There it is, just got buried. So this way I can show you how to lay out this style of leaf. There's just a couple little steps that make them super easy to put down. And then we're gonna fill it in white, and then we're gonna just do this one. So having a white base coat on this just helps your colors be bright. If you don't wanna fill it in white, that's fine. You just might need a couple extra layers of your colors on your stone. So to lay out, this is kind of like a maple leaf style leaf. You're going to start by creating a stripe, a vertical stripe. This will be the tip of the center leaf all the way down to where the tip of the stem would be. Okay, so this is the total height of your leaf. Now, if you want to leave a place for a word at the bottom or something, keep that in mind as well. Now, to the side, you want to go up as far. You want to make sure that you can go out to the side. So I wouldn't want to start way down here. We got to have some stem. And then you're going to go mostly horizontal, slightly upward angle, all the way to the tip of where your leaf would be. Same to the other side, a little bit up, leave room for your tip. And then we're going to split each of these in half. And you can have that point come all the way out there, okay? And then the same over here, split it in half, have it come way out here, like that. Okay, so that's a basic like bone structure, if you want to say, of your leaf. Now to make each of the extensions, what we're going to do is we're going to create a point at the tip, and then a C, and then a backward C. Okay, you see that on there? So I'm going to do that to each of these. A point on the tip like an arrow point, and then a C in both directions. Even on this bottom one, we're going to do the same thing. Like that. See, go in both directions. Okay, so now we've got all of our edges done. Now we're going to take and create a U shape from tip to tip. So we're going to go U like that, and U like that. And if you're not sure how deep to go, always go maybe deeper than you might want to be, because if you have to come up higher, you can. Now we're not going to do that over here. Okay, like that. And on the bottom, you're just going to come back to your main center like that. And then we're going to thicken your stem like that. Now all you will do at this point is fill this entire thing in with white. I grabbed acrylic paint and a paintbrush, so just completely fill it in. And then everything that we're going to do on this simple leaf is what you would do on here. It's just a lot more detailed. It does take longer, I'm not going to lie, but it's all exactly the same steps. And for a live tutorial, this would just, I did this one back here and it took me quite a while to do. So we're just going to TV magic, move this out of the way. And we're going to start working on this. This white is completely dry. I've got two brushes. They're very similar. The smaller the details you have to get in, you may want a slightly smaller brush. And then back here, I'm just going to put some orange and some red on my plate. So basically we've got one brush per color, but one we're going to use a little bit more for blending than the other one. We're going to do our outer edge with red. So whichever one of your, like, look, you can tell the quality of these brushes are completely different. So this one comes to a much better point. So I'm going to use that one to do my red since that's the outside detail. And this one I don't mind kind of beaten up a little bit. So we're going to take and we're just going to start by filling, the whole thing with our base color. Now you could do this same style of leaf with yellow in the middle out to like an orange or like even a brown or tan, whatever style of leaves you have. We're just going to fill it all with our base color, and we're building that layer up as we're painting. And we'll even come out to the stem. Don't worry about getting all the way to the tips. We're going to have those be red anyways, but get pretty close. So when you're building and blending, it takes some layers to get it done. So we just always want to start with the layer you're going to have kind of peeking through the most. I'm just wiping off a little bit of the extra so it doesn't get all gross on my brush. So now I'm just going to take my red here, get it on the tip, and you can kind of spin it just to get that tip back a little bit. And I'm just going to go along the edge. I am going to take my time to get it pretty close to the tip, but as you can see in the ones I have off to the side here, I am lining mine with gold because I love gold with fall colors. So if you're gonna have just the red as the edge, just make sure that you get all the way to that outside edge. Okay, so now we've got that edge on there. That side. Sorry if I was a little low on that, guys. I'll try to push up, glance up from time to time. Put this down this edge. And we'll be adding another layer of this red as we go through the process anyway, so seeing a little bit of that white through is not a big deal. Lower them under the stem here, like that. All right, so we're gonna start with our red and kind of blend it down into our orange, and then we're gonna kind of go back with the orange again. So we're gonna go back into our red up here, straight red. I don't have any orange mixed into it. And we're gonna go right along the edge, and we're gonna use more of a dabbing motion to lay down the paint all the way across. And then you're gonna go right over the top of it again, all the way across and around. And you'll end up picking up just a little bit of that orange on your brush. So it will kind of start the fading process. Now we're going to go into our orange up here. So if I have the blue brush, I'm using orange paint. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to lay it down at the base here. And then we're going to kind of come right up to the seam and kind of leave it in dabs, because that will kind of leave a little bit of paint behind. And then you're going to go right into that seam. And you're going to pick up some of that red. And see how that will start to kind of blend together for you. And just really, I'm not using strokes, I'm using a dabbing motion. It's really a dab, dab, dab. Okay, I'll see if I can get it in focus here. So I'm going up and down like this, not striping, dabbing. Okay, so see how beautiful that fade is already? And that's just our first pass over. So we're gonna do the same thing here on the opposite side. We're gonna let this get a chance to dry. I like to do 2 layers of this. If you have a lighter rock, you might be able to get away with just doing a single layer. I know we've got the white paint underneath. It's just, I want these colors to be very nice and bright and vibrant. So we're gonna go all the way around with our coat of red here. And then we're gonna do our little dabbing towards the center. And the first places you leave it, it's gonna be a lot thicker. See, I have these giant dots here where I first laid it. So that's why you go back and forth a little bit, because slowly more of it will get off your brush. And then we'll leave it a little bit more equally past your rock. All right, now we'll come back with that orange. So again, start in the center with your pure orange. next to the seam, and then right on top of it. And you'll slowly get some of that red on your brush. And that's what just really helps it start to kind of blend together. Now you could do this kind of process with like one of the sponges, like we've done with makeup sponges and things like that before. All right. Kind of got crazy back here. I got onto my red a little bit, but oh, sorry. My head's kind of really close to the camera. I apologize, guys. Not trying to make you seasick. Okay, so that's the first pass through, and I basically just do it a second time once it's dry. So I'm going to give it just a little second here to dry. It's still a little bit wet. Okay, I think this is dry enough to go ahead and do. So we're going to go same thing here. We're going to just take our red, lay it down out at that edge. And want that edge nice and red. And I'm lining these with gold, so I'm not overly cautious with my line, but if you're going to keep it just with the crisp red edge, just be really slow. You may even want to come in with a smaller liner brush so that you can really be careful to not go over your white too much. Okay, so we've got that line. Then we're going to dab liner and come closer together. There we go. All right, now for our orange. Remember, start closer to the middle here to lay down your main orange first. There we go, and then we'll work that edge. And this is just going to be so pretty. And if you're noticing, I do rotate my rock instead of trying to twist your wrist and do all this weird stuff. Just rotate your rock so that your motion is really kind of steady and the same. Okay, so let's do the other side here. And it's up to you how far down into your leaf you want your secondary color to be too. I'm keeping this red pretty close to the edge of the rock. But you can have that red come a lot further down and in to your stone if you want to. Or even if you want like the tip to come a little bit deeper, you can come back with your red and kind of bring that down a little bit lower. And just do your blend a little bit lower. Like that. Okay. All right, so as far as doing like the veining on the rock, I do it very loosely with this design. You know, you could look at a leaf and really focus, and there's lots of little lines and details, but you know me, I like to keep these things 101. So this is for the beginner. So if you do this rock or you see this rock and you think, I want to add more details, go for it. You don't have to stick directly to what I'm doing. So I'm just going to grab just the littlest bit of red on the tip of my red brush here, and we're going to follow from the stem up towards the top in a very kind of light bouncing stroke so it almost disappears. And then you can pick on this kind of rock which way the side veins would go, kind of up and away. On the maple style one, you want them to go towards the tips of each of your pieces of your leaf. And then the last thing I'm going to do with this guy is line it, which is always very forgiving. You can kind of crisp up your lines and everything when you go back through and line it. I am using my 1MR gold. It's I bought the 1MR pack, and the gold and the black are probably the ones I like the most out of the pack as far as I'm using them more than like the 1Ms. So if you don't have this kind of pen, like the roller, gel roller pens work good too. Just if you're using more of an ink-based pen as opposed to like what this is a paint pen, you really want to make sure that your paint is completely dry. Even with this, it's best to wait till it's dry, but for the sake of live, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm doodling often, because if you get any paint in the tip of these, it can dry and kind of clog things up. So I'm just gonna outline this leaf here. And I have to say, it's funny because this leaf looks more simple than this, but this one was easier to do because it's shorter little strokes instead of trying to get one really long stroke. So if you have an issue with doing one really long stroke, if you feel like you're gonna have to pick it up, kind of pick up in a way, don't just stop and then pick up, so you don't get like this ball in the center of your line. See, I'm not going to be able to make it, so as I come up and away, and that way when you start again, you can kind of slowly drop in to try to continue that line without having this little bulge or dot on it. As you can see, I'm not the best at doing these long continuous lines, but I guess that's a little trick. I kind of drop in just before where I was at and then slowly drop in like through my stroke so that you're not leaving a bead of paint behind. All right, and then as far as the boning or ribbing or whatever you call this under a leaf, I just add the same thing, just these short little wispy strokes with my pen. Now on top of the red, just slightly to the side, like it's maybe the other side of the thickness to it. Just like that. And then you can easily add words to these rocks. I did blessed on this one up here. I like blessed for this time of year. I mean, because it's, you know, Thanksgiving, something about the changing of the leaves and everything. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do blessed on this one as well. I'm just gonna do simple standard writing here. So just start on the side. And then just follow the edge of the leaf. And there it is. So that's finished. So thanks everybody that joined in live. As always, I appreciate all the love, the hearts, the thumbs ups. I see them kind of in the, you know, peripheral vision for me, and sharing as well to your local groups. Feel free to share any of these tutorials in your local groups. I'm members in quite a few, and people are usually pretty excited for something new to try. So everybody have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.